Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining me for another Alfred Hitchcock Presents review. Today I will be talking about Season 2, Episode 5, None Are So Blind, starring Hurd Hatfield as Seymour and Mildred Dunnock as Aunt Muriel. And this episode has a pretty typical plot for the show. One character wants to kill off another character, basically to get inheritance money. But I have to say, the ending of this episode is pretty unique. And although it's kind of out there and you just have to go with it, it's well concealed throughout this entertaining episode. So it works okay here. Like I said, even if it is a bit strange and out there. So we have our main character, Seymour, and he's narrating throughout the episode, which works okay in this case. It also turns out that Seymour doesn't have a lot of money. He runs an antique shop, which obviously isn't paying the bills too well. And he's also waiting for his Aunt Muriel to pass away because then he will inherit money from her. So we get a scene where they are talking, and you can tell they're kind of annoyed by each other. Aunt Muriel is especially annoyed. She basically tells Seymour that he's kind of annoying and that he likes to admire himself too much, which we do see Seymour looking at himself in a mirror, which will be important at the end of the episode. They also argue about money, and his aunt basically tells him that he needs to get another job other than his shop or he's going to be in trouble. Seymour, of course, doesn't like this, and he comes up with this idea that his only choice is to kill his aunt. Probably not a good idea, as is usual in Alfred Hitchcock Presents. So at this point, Seymour finds a wallet, and it gives him an idea on how he's going to carry out this plan. But it's not really a very good idea, and it's pretty far out there, as we'll find out. So then we see Seymour talking to a woman named Liza, and they're a couple. And basically, Liza, you can tell, is also annoyed with Seymour. She basically wants money as well, and she's tired of waiting for it. So Seymour reveals his whole plan. He's going to use this other person's identity from the wallet he found. He's basically going to dress like him, disguise himself as him, and pretend that this Mr. Bertami, I think his name is, committed the murder. This plan's way out there and pretty far-fetched, but it's one of those things you just got to kind of go with. This character of Liza was also amusing, but it's kind of weird she never comes back into the episode, which I thought was kind of a missed opportunity. It seems like her character only exists to give us, the audience, exposition on the plan, which is kind of unfortunate, but I guess it works. It's not too big of a deal. I just thought this character, Liza, could have been used better. So at this point, we actually get to see the disguise on Seymour, and it's pretty average. It's not that convincing, in my opinion. It still looks a lot like Seymour. But to be fair, if you didn't know the man, maybe it would work better. So he acts as this Bertami for a while, so people see him as this person, so he has witnesses, I guess. So we go to the night when he's ready to murder his aunt, and she's very suspicious of him. It turns out he sent some kind of letter from this Bertami threatening her life, but the aunt surprisingly knows it's from Seymour. I'm not sure how she figured this out, but she actually tells Seymour everything, which didn't seem too smart either. Why would you reveal that you knew it was him? But whatever. So Seymour decides he's going to go through with it anyway, and he basically shoots his aunt. He thinks his plan has basically worked. There's also this weird thing with a car that never really works into the conclusion of the plot, so I'm not sure really why it's here, but whatever. So at this point, Seymour thinks he's got away with it. A detective is introduced into the episode. Seymour acts upset and shocked about this whole thing. And then we get our final scene where the detective comes in, and Seymour thinks he suspects Bertani, which he does, but then the detective notices that Seymour has a birthmark that gives him away. So I guess when he disguised himself, he ignored the birthmark because he didn't want to accept that he had it, which is kind of an interesting twist. It's kind of abrupt and comes out of nowhere, but the episode does a good job of concealing it. So I was satisfied with it. Overall, None Are So Blind has kind of some plot holes or kind of some plot conveniences, if you want to say it that way. But it's an entertaining episode, and I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. And I do think that this is an episode that fans of the series will enjoy. So a 3 out of 5 for None Are So Blind. And as always, thank you very much for watching.